Yeah,
you do not yell at me.
If someone was to yell at me, I would be like, who are you yelling at?
Yep.
Like, I would address their aggression with aggression. And then usually they stop yelling. And I'd be like, we can go somewhere and talk, but you're not going to sit here and yell at me. You know what I mean? Like, see, that's just, see, like, I can maneuver that so much easier, because it's so much easier for me because I've dealt with it for longer. Like, with passive aggressive, how do you
Well, I guess that's because, like, I feel like we both grew up in households like that. This to me goes back to my childhood with me having an angry person in my house that yelled at us all the time.
Yeah.
So as an adult, I'm like, I left that shit.
Yeah.
I don't deal with that shit anymore. You know, you're not my father. You can't yell at me like that. I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah.
And if you want to address me like a human being, then come talk to me.
How do you deal with passive aggressive stuff though?
Oh, I'll call you out on that shit.
What would you do? Like, if someone, like, what have you had some passive aggressive behavior?
Well,
not like, if
not
you cannot link it to you. Oh, we can talk about your old spot.
My old spot, when I had a manager that would tell us if we couldn't complete our work, they would find someone to replace us that could.
I feel like that's straight aggression.
Oh, really?
I don't think that's passive at all. Jesus. No, I don't think that's passive. No, that's pretty straightforward though. Like, passive aggressive is like, isn't passive aggressive like bad things disguised as good things?
I guess.
Yeah. So they'll be like, I'll hold this door for you because I know you don't have like the strength.
You don't have the strength to.
Yeah, that type of thing where it's just like,
well, I know,
or they talk like kindly to you because they think you're stupid.
I definitely have had. I mean, I know I've had coworkers that have, you know, if I'm working with, like, when I was in customer service, where someone would ask me a question and then they would come in and answer it for me because I thought I didn't know the answer before they give me a chance to.
Yeah.
And that I will call you out on.
A lot in Whole Foods. When I worked there's a lot of passive aggressive there where they were asking me a question and then walk away before I could give them an answer. That was extremely frustrating.
That's actually where I was thinking where this would happen. It was people, you know, I would be speaking directly with the person. They would ask me something. Some dude next to me would come in and chime in and overtalk me before I had a chance to. And then I would look at them and literally say, they were talking to me.
Yeah.
I know the answer. If I need help, I'll ask.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's how it is. I mean, in that specific context, I would definitely.
Yeah.
Because I can't, with that shit, I can't just let that go. I can't let you disrespect me like that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. So my big thing is, you know, working with gratitude. Like, hey, there might be some passive aggressive behavior, but you know what? Long as that money come, that's what's up. Now, if the money don't come, then you got real ass problems, and you need to fucking burn that shit to the ground. I'm joking. Just get a new job.
Yeah. Move on. That's what I do.
Yeah. And honestly, if you feel like if you get to the end of your rope and you can't pour any more gratitude into your current position, it's time for you to go. If you can't find a way to be like, you know what? It was better than I was. When it becomes not better than where you were, then you need to go to like the next spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've seen each other hit that point.
Yep. And that's real. So moving on to This Happened.
So we went to the movies on Saturday.
We sure did.
And we saw a little movie called Ready Player One.
It's a little indie film by a up and coming director named Stefan Spielberg. Steven Spielberg. It was pretty good, in my humble opinions.
It was pretty good.
The VFX looked good. I've heard some people talk about the uncanny valley effect of it, and I just thought that they looked not human enough to pull it off.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was watching humans. I felt like I was watching the game.
Yeah.
And I felt like the game was super interesting. It was intriguing. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Right.
It was very much a pop culture explosion.
Yeah. And
I feel like anyone that was born in the 80s or in, early 90s
right.
would really enjoy it because they would get a lot of the context in the movie.
Yeah.
So overall, I recommend it.
I thought the marketing for it was shit because I felt like they tried to sell a different movie than the movie we got.
Because I had no idea what the movie was going to be about. Like, I had no idea that there were like Easter eggs.
Yeah, I knew they were saving The Oasis, I just thought they were saving it from like a corporation, and they kind of were, but it was like the way to save it, I guess I was lost on. Because every time I would see the trailer, I would just see like a bunch of digital shit. Just like smashing into other shit. And I was just like, this is stupid. Like, why are they playing this video game? And they were just making it, I don't know. It just, even after watching the movie and after enjoying it, the world is still extremely foreign to me. Like, I don't think I could connect to a world where I would wear VR goggles into the street and have like a fully interactive situation. You know, like you would get hit by a car.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in that this world didn't look safe at all. Like you could kill people and it seemed like there was no retribution. People
were dying and no one was mourning at all. People were just like, you killed my cousin's cousin. And it's just like, all right.
So, excuse me. Oh, thank you.
You're
nice
welcome.
Little beer.
I'll fill a bus. I think
you should dance too, though.
Who says I'm not?
Should we give some spoilers on this?
Nah, we'll save it because I think it's a movie worth watching.
Yeah, there are some issues with it though.
Yep. What was your issue with it?
There were two.
Okay.
One being that one line, or that one part at the end with the final Easter egg.
Yeah.
With what was that guy's name that made the whole
Holiday.
Yeah. When we don't find out what Holiday is.
I'm pretty sure he's a computer person.
But why didn't they? The fact that they didn't address that and just kind of left it, like,
yeah,
I thought it'd be weird.
Mm-hmm.
And also the ending that is quote unquote a happy ending, but still kind of depressing.
What do you mean?
Because the world is still shit.
Oh yeah, the world's complete shit.
So it was like,
what's the point of it all?
It was just like, yeah, I get it. It's cool that this one character that we really liked, you know,
had a happy ending,
but a lot of like him and his 5 friends did.
Yeah, and I don't think everyone else has a happy ending because one of the things he did to the game makes people exist not in the game longer. Mm-hmm. And if they're really trying to pitch this futuristic world as being fucked, and everyone plays this game to get away, that's like, it's like the equivalent of like no TV. So that you can enjoy other people's company, which works great if you have someone's company to enjoy. But if you have no one's company to enjoy, that's bullshit.
Yeah. Also, in real life, you win a ton of money, and I was like, I thought maybe they would have more to do with that.
Yeah, what do you mean?
I thought they would like do more with that money. Kind of like, I mean,
help people. You
know, at the end of Black Panther, when they open up the Wakanda Center, to like try to start making things better they didn't do none of that. They were just kind of like, well,
nope, they did none of that. You know why? Because they're gamers, and gamers kind of suck. Did you look into any of that Gamergate stuff I was telling you about? Yeah, if you look into the Gamergate stuff, you will see like at the heart of many gamers and the heart of the gaming community, it's a super toxic male environment.
I can see that.
And
it's mostly, I'm guessing, cisgendered white males.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
They are known.
Yes, of all ages, who are not afraid to say the N-word with the hard R.
Just like,
see me in the streets, pal. I liked the movie. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was definitely good.
Entertaining. I think that it felt like a Spielberg movie.
Sure did.
The acting was atrocious on everyone's part. But because everyone's acting was so horrible, I let it ride. The one thing that I did realize that kind of sucked a little bit was one of the main characters, Artemis, is like this super bad female gamer. And I guess it's like a twofold thing because in the book, she's like a bigger girl than she is in the movie. They made her like a really skinny, and she's not supposed to be super pretty. You know what I mean? She's supposed to be kind of normal-esque kind of just like your everyday girl. She's an everyday body shape. Like she's not like this super thin, you know, CW looking character who has like a little bit of a blemish over her eye. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I kind of felt like they could have given... They
watered her down a lot.
No, they actually boosted her character up. That's like the other side of the coin, because I learned that too. But I kind of wish physically they would have gave a little bit of representation to non-sexy people.
Yeah.
Because everyone is sexy to someone. We don't need your definition of what a sexy person is to be the definition of everything. You know what I mean? Because even her video game, she looked very much like her video game character.
Yeah, she did.
And they had like the same curves and the same thinness, which is cool. But in the book, she was like a little bit more meatier. But there is a scene in the movie where Artemis, the main girl, she plays a major part in like infiltrating a corporation and helping out. In the books, that was actually the dude.
Damn.
The girl had nothing to do with that.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was nice that they balanced it out. And I feel like if anyone is listening to, I don't want to say the Me Too movement, because they straight got TJ Miller in this shit. And I feel like they did cut out a lot of his pieces, but a lot of women heard his voice and it fucked them up. And a lot of them didn't want to see it because of TJ Miller, which is like, if you didn't want to see this movie because of TJ Miller, I understand. But we were talking about it and we were just like, I mean, I guess they could have recasted his voice, because they cut him out. You never see his face. You never
see him or see anything about his real actual life or hear anything about it.
What sucks though is that I liked his character. I like those lines. I like the comedic timing of it all, but I just know he's a very toxic person.
If you could have replaced him with someone, who would it have been?
See, that's what I was thinking. I don't know. Probably Jordan Peele or like one of them. You know what I mean? Like someone who can give me that deadpan like snarkiness and still have the voice. Like, because I was thinking like Seth Rogen could have been a choice, but his voice is too distinctive. And I think, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I wouldn't really know who else to do. Like, the only person I could think of would possibly be Jordan Peele, and he would probably say no. Because he was like, fuck that. They tried to make him be the voice of the poop emoji, and he was like, I'm kind of done acting.
Did they really try that?
Yeah. And then before he could get it, Sir Patrick Stewart got it. Who would you have replaced TJ Miller with?
I was just trying to think, actually, of movies with voice, like Pixar movies and stuff, like Disney, like,
right.
And who would have been a good...
Because you need someone, because I feel like a lot of those lines were ad-libbed.
Yeah.
Like where he was talking about how his neck hurts. And he kind of kept that ongoing gag going, because he looked very menacing. And then he would just be like, oh man, my neck is really messed up right now. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It has to be a nice, distinct voice, but at the same time, the person has to have great comedic timing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He's also in the Emoji Movie.
He sure is.
Yeah, and the Emoji Movie sucked.
It sure did.
So on to my little bit of this happened. I want to give a special shout out to the Brooklyn Museum for hiring not one, but two white curators. We were doing a little bit more research because we got to Googling, and we actually wanted to make a quick correction for anyone who is hearing this. Drew Sawyer is actually the curator for photography and not African photography. But the Brooklyn Museum did hire Kristen to be the curator for the African art exhibit. So that has been clarified for us. And we want to clarify for you. That way we're just not perpetuating the wrong information out here in these streets.
Yes.
To curate the African arts exhibit in their museum. And I just going to be like, why?
Who, and in this?
Like, why? First of all, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You didn't do enough with the gentrification.
I was going to say, if this was some like podunk, super Caucasian area, where I'd be like, well, I guess there were no people of color.
Right. If this was like, if we were reading like the Missouri Times and they were like, hey, we inundated like, you know, two of these like Caucasian dudes to be part of the African American art curators for, you know, the South Dakota Weekly, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, it's a flyover state, sure, whatever. But it's like Brooklyn. Like, Brooklyn already gentrified the shit out of Brooklyn.
They sure did.
Shit's expensive. Motherfucker.